You've probably imagined yourself rich, but have you ever imagined yourself amongst the world's ultra wealthy? I mean, people who have a net worth of more than $30 million? Well, I'm pleased to announce to you that more than 2/3 of the world's ultra wealthy are actually self-made. That means they didn't just receive their wealth, they worked for it, they put in effort, a lot of them from nothing. Now, what the hell does that mean? That simply means that you too can. So what I'm going to share with you are 8 steps which, if you take at heart and follow through, will ensure that you build a proper foundation right from the beginning, and that you'll have the right step and the right way of growing wealth that is sustainable. Wealth that remains, not wealth that just disappears. You know, you make the money today and tomorrow you have nothing left. If you follow through with this, you're going to make sure that you build wealth and wealth that remains. Step number 1 is to educate yourself about money. Now, educating yourself about money is so important because it ensures that starting right from the beginning, you have the right mindset, you have the right thought pattern about money. You're not in the group that thinks that money is an evil thing. You're not in the group of people who will just sit there and wait and expect money to just come into their pocket. You have the right foundation. So you have to get to terms with the words that are used in finance, you know, things like debt, assets, liabilities, profit, expenses, sales, business, investment, return on investment, things like that. You need to make sure that you understand them very well, not simply know the words, but understand what they mean. For example, you might imagine something is an asset when in reality it's an investment. And a lot of things are floated around in the world as assets when in the end they are liabilities. And for some people, you might imagine something is a liability when in the end it's actually an asset. So you need to make sure that you understand these things and understand the context in which they can be discussed to ensure that you have a proper financial foundation. So how can you learn about these things? First of all, from things like this YouTube channel right here. If you're on the YouTube channel, come on, just hit that subscribe button, because on this YouTube channel, you're going to learn about money, understand how to make money, and understand all the foundations about wealth. But secondly, you can learn from podcasts, you can learn from reading books, from attending seminars, even from doing formal education. You can learn and understand a lot about money. You just need to make sure that you pick out the right places where you go and do these trainings from, you know, whether it's online courses, just to make sure that it's the right people and they're not giving you the wrong information. So you need to do the proper background checks and ensure that, you know, the people who have gone through them have actually found value inside them. Point number 2, get a regular source of income. In order to build wealth, you need money. Money is what you're going to use to expand yourself to ensure that you get to the point where you actually bring in a lot of money. But how do you get money? From saving. You actually need to have saved money. And how do you manage to save? By having a regular source of income. It's difficult, it's almost impossible for you to save if you're relying on things like betting, things like, you know, multi-level marketing for your source of income. Those things are not trusted. Yeah, you know, if someone calls you and they tell you, well, you're going to make a year's worth of income in a week, those are things you should never trust. It's possible, very unlikely possible, but why would you put all your bets on something that has a chance of 1 in a billion to happen? Yeah, certainly not worth it. So it's very important that you actually get a regular source of income so that you place the finances in your own control. You don't want to place your finances in the control of other people, in the control of maybe betting or things like that. You need to make sure that you get a proper source of money. And how do you get a proper source of money? You need to either make sure you have a good paying job, or number 2, you have a business. So if you don't have a good paying job, then you need to make sure that you invest in yourself, to make sure that you're hireable, and to make sure that you can negotiate for a very good pay wherever you're working so that people can pay you properly. So you need to make sure that you invest in yourself to get a really good job, or ensure that your business is consistently and properly providing value to people so that you can consistently have money that you can then put aside and save, which you're going to use later on as you're going to see in the process of making money. So yeah, it's important, very important, that you have a regular source of income. Step number 3, get a vision and develop a plan. Someone without a vision is like someone running a marathon at, you know, let's say 100 kilometers per hour in the wrong direction, completely wrong direction. So if you don't have a vision, if you don't have a goal, if you haven't set in place a plan, then you're just moving haphazardly and you don't have anything in mind. It is well proven that people who actually set goals at the beginning of every year accomplish more than people who don't set goals at the beginning of the year. In all reality, your goals are going to keep changing changing as you continue and develop. As you start making money, you will keep realizing new things, and the goals are going to develop. So it might seem like setting goals might be useless, because what you're going to end up achieving and the things you're going to end up desiring in the end actually are going to be so different from the goals that you might have set at the beginning. But it's proven that having goals actually gives you a sense of direction, and it gives you a purpose, something that you will work to, something that you will work towards, and that in the end is going to ensure that you have a lot of results. So it's very important that you set goals. Make sure that you have a vision board. If you don't have a vision board, for example, I personally don't do vision boards, but I do a lot of imagination. I will sit down, spend minutes, hours sitting down and planning in my head, thinking about the things I want to do, think about how I want to do them, maybe write down a few notes about them. Having this mental picture in your head of what you want to do, where you want to go, how you want to implement things will ensure that you actually push through with a lot of the things that you set out to do. Step number 4 is extreme saving. Yes, you heard me right. Extreme. You see, in order to make money, you need money. Now, it's not like it's not possible to make money without money, but a lot of people don't actually have money. And if you do have money, it gives you something that a lot of people don't actually have to work with. It's easier to make money with money than it is to make money without money. So if you have money, then you're way ahead of other people. You want to utilize money in order to make money. So you need to make sure that you save. You need to make sure that you have money available to you. So then, how do we go into extreme saving? How much can you save? In order for you to identify how much you can save, you need to get your income, then you subtract your bills. Once you get your monthly income, you subtract your bills. Your bills will be things like electricity, your telephone bill, your water bill, maybe fuel if you drive to and from work. Those are things that are necessary for you to actually do work. And then you'll also have your spendable income. So how much you save will be your income minus bills minus spendable funds available. Now, the spendable funds available are responsible for things like your food. You're wondering why I'm not putting your food amongst bills. It's because the price can fluctuate so much. You could choose to eat from a restaurant or eat from home or buy food from a supermarket and prepare from home. Things like that, yeah? Things like going out on holiday, going out for parties, drinks, all that is in your spendable income. It's important, but you can really minimize on it. So how much you save will depend on how much you can actually minimize your spending. You need to make sure that you minimize your spending as much as possible. So if you want to spend a lot of time eating out in restaurants, if maybe you've been eating out 15 times a month from restaurant, can you get that down to 3 or 4 times a month, or maybe twice, or maybe none, so that you can eat as much as possible from home, cook from home, and then you have more money available to save. So you need to make sure that you go through these extreme measures to ensure that you can save and have money available to you to utilize to make money. And now, of course, saving can be done in different ways. Yeah, there are different kinds of accounts in which you can put money. For example, you need to put money in an emergency fund. That's part of the saving. Yeah. So if, for example, you don't have an emergency fund, that's very risky, because something could happen, something sudden, something unexpected. Maybe your car breaks down, or a health issue or something like that, and just like that, you're completely in chaos. You don't have any money to utilize to get out of these issues. So you need to make sure that you have an emergency fund. Also, you need to put money aside for your goal-oriented goals. You understand? Things like the things that you're driving towards on your path towards wealth. Maybe it's buying and building a house, maybe it's starting a business, maybe it's doing investments, doing real estate, whatever it is, you need to make sure that you have money aside for that. Also, it's important that you save money aside for your retirement. It's important that you go into this habit of saving and putting money aside for your retirement. Even if it's so little, very little, maybe $20, $30 a month, just put it aside, because it becomes a habit and it's easier for you to grow on that than to start from completely nothing if you've never developed this habit inside you. Step number 5, invest or build a business. So now you've managed to save your money and you've put money aside, you have a substantial amount of income. So there are 2 ways in which you can actually utilize this money to make money. The first one is investing. So when you invest, you ensure that you have money which is actually working for you. It will compound over time, it will multiply and build for you more money over time. What are the different ways that you can invest? You can invest in stocks, you can invest in bonds, in mutual funds, you can invest in real estate. The margins on these kinds of investments might not be too much, i.e. the interest might not be so much, but in the end, generally, your money is going to grow quicker than it would in the bank. In fact, in the bank, it would fall more likely, because the interest rates in banks are really terrible. And with all the inflation that happens globally, with time, your money will just lose value. So it's important to invest the money. It will slowly grow, because generally what happens is, for example, if you invest in stocks, you're investing in some really good companies. It's not advisable to invest in individual stocks, particular stocks of a company. It's better to invest in like ETFs. These pick out the very best stocks, and then they will give you return on investment on how generally all the stocks perform. So generally what will happen is that over time, companies grow, because they're usually the biggest driver for development of the economy. So over time, they will grow, and you get to benefit from the growth of these companies. So it's very, very important that you keep money aside, because these are less risky than, for example, business, which is the other way that you can make money. Now with business, you can actually make crazy money. It's not conservative like, these investments, yeah? You can make crazy money really, really quickly. You can grow 100, 200, 500 fold in just 1 year, depending on how well you do the business. Now, of course, businesses can be really risky, and the statistic is that the biggest percentage of business, in fact, 80% of all businesses that start are not present by the 5th year. Now, of course, there is a way you can actually do business that ensures that your business is literally failure proof, 100% tested. Yeah, I've actually made a video about that. I leave a link to that video in the description about how to start a business that literally can never fail. Check it out. So yes, businesses and investment are the ways in which you're most likely and most definitely going to be growing wealth in a very assured way using your money. Step number 6 is improve your skill level. So you've probably started a business, or you're working a job somewhere and they are paying you, and you've saved money aside and you're doing investments. How can you then earn more money? You need to make sure that you improve your skill level, so that then you can negotiate for better pay. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're doing, for example, graphic designing in a company, become a better graphic designer, so that then you can negotiate a better pay at your company or with your boss, with your employee, because it's very difficult for your employer to increase your money if they don't see that whatever you're going to be doing is more valuable, that you're bringing more value to the company or to whoever you're working for. So it's very important that you increase your skill level. Also, if it's a business, then you need to make sure that you invest in things like innovation. You do as much market research as possible, so that you get ahead of others in the business world, in your market, whoever you're competing against, so that you can get ahead of them, so that you can get new ways of actually doing businesses that ensure that your survival is not only assured, but that you also explode and get way more money into your bank account. Step number 7 is to explore the idea of passive income. Now, of course, we've talked about passive income in one way. There's 2 ways in which passive income can be utilized. One is by letting your money work for you, which is actually through investing, stocks, bonds, real estate. You just use your money to work for you. You don't really do anything besides that. The second one is where you do a little bit of work, but then you let this work then replicate itself and just bring in money for you. For example, a lot of passive businesses are done on the internet, yeah? Things like blogging, things like vlogging, for example, YouTube right here, things like affiliate marketing, drop shipping, things like making digital products like online courses. These are passive ways of doing income, where you only invest time in, usually at the beginning once, and then for the rest of the time you just seated there and bringing in money. These are actually ways that have actually made a lot of people rich. Also, I've made a video about this. I'll leave a link in the description below, so that you can explore the possibility of actually making thousands, if not millions of dollars using passive income. And then finally, step number 8, you've got to protect your assets, protect your money, protect your income. How do you do that? 2 ways. Number 1, using insurance. There are very many types of insurance, whether it's life insurance, health insurance. You see, in protecting your health and ensuring that you get proper treatment every time you're ill, you're actually protecting your wealth, because health is wealth. There's nothing more important than health. So you need to make sure that you get, things like health insurance, insurance for your businesses, insurance for your, assets, to ensure that, just in case something happens, you're not in trouble. The second way is actually to have a will. Very, very important. It's something that people don't actually take into consideration a lot, but it's very important that you do have a will, so that the day you pass on, your wealth doesn't just disappear, and it actually becomes utilized for the purpose for which you actually choose to. So I'll leave a link to a video right here about how to start and grow and build a business that can never fail. Check it out. I trust you'll like it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell. That way you never miss out on an upload. Catch you very soon with another video. Lots of love. Bye-bye.